Hi, Bruno here. Welcome to Spainguru.
Arraigo Familiar. How to request it from outside Spain. In many cases, people who are outside of Spain have relatives in Spain and want to join them. However, they may find it difficult to obtain a residence permit due to a lack of roots or arraigo in Spain. Arraigo Familiar is a way of demonstrating strong ties to Spain and is a way for obtaining a residence permit. In this article and video, we will explain how to apply for Arraigo Familiar from outside of Spain. What is the Arraigo Familiar or family roots in English? Arraigo Familiar is a situation in which a person has solid ties to Spain, either through relatives or other significant relationships. The objective of Arraigo Familiar is to avoid separation of families and promote their reunification. Legally, it is a residence authorization for exceptional circunstances, autorización de residencia por circunstancias excepcionales. What are the requirements to apply for Arraigo Familiar? Currently, some Spanish nationals' relatives are required to obtain an Arraigo Familiar. Certain relatives have been included in the immigration regulations since the change of immigration regulations that took effect in August 2022, specifically within the figure of Arraigo Familiar. So, if you are a relative of a Spaniard, you must ask for Arraigo Familiar. Here are the four main assumptions. So, if you are in any of these assumptions, you may be eligible to request an Arraigo Familiar. Let's see the first one. You are the spouse or the legal common law partner, pareja de hecho in Spanish, of a Spanish national. Number 2. Descendants under the age of 21 or dependents over the age of 21 of a citizen of Spanish nationality or of their spouse or common law partner. Number 3. Ascendants above the age of 65 or dependents under the age of 65. And number 4. You are the son of a father or mother who originally was Spanish. Therefore, for example, if you are an American or a British citizen who got married to a Spaniard and would like to move to Spain, one of the residency options is to obtain the Arraigo Familiar, which is typically good for 5 years and permits you to live and work in Spain with no restrictions. With this kind of permit, you are given permission to work for someone else's account as well as for yourself as a freelancer. And you are free to engage in any of these activities without doing any other procedure. After the initial 5 years, you will be able to obtain a long-term residence permit for another 5 years. And as you know, if you're an American or British national, after 10 years of legal residence in Spain, you may request the citizenship. However, for the last case, being the son of a father or mother who was originally Spanish, the duration of this authorization will only be 1 year, and after that year will need to be renewed. Also notice that if you are a relative of a Spanish citizen but do not fall or do not comply under any of these four circumstances, for example, you are the sister of a Spanish citizen and so on, you must apply for a residency card for a community member through the concept of extended family, and let's say it in Spanish is tarjeta de residencia de familiar de comunitario a través del concepto de familia extensa. These relatives had not been covered by the figure of Arraigo Familiar, and therefore it will be necessary to continue obtaining the community card or tarjeta comunitaria. Also, there are extra requirements for the Arraigo Familiar. Number 1, you cannot be a citizen of any of the member states of the European Union and the European Economic Area or Switzerland. Number 2, you must not have any criminal records for crimes covered in the Spanish legal system, both in Spain and in the prior residencies. And number 3, not being barred from entering Spain. Necessary documentation to apply for Arraigo Familiar. Official application form X10 in duplicate, properly filled out and signed by the foreigner. Number 2, complete copy of the passport, travel document, registration card with a minimum validity of 4 months. Number 3, criminal record certificate or background check. Number 5, proof of family ties and nationality, including birth certificate and or documentation of the parental obligations. So this is to prove the ties, the arraigo or the roots, why you are asking, the reason why you're asking this residence permit. And last but not least, the payment of a fee, which is the 790 code 052. And of course, you can find the link to the article in the video description below, where you will find all the links that you can see in the text in red color. Any document issued outside of Spain must be legalized or apostilled, and if necessary, it must also be translated by a certified sworn translator. Where can I apply for Arraigo Familiar if I am outside of Spain? The direct relatives of Spanish nationals have been subject to this Arraigo Familiar since the reform of the immigration regulations in August 2022. But what about the relatives who are not in Spain? How are those requests made? Remember that only family members who are already in Spain may apply for Arraigo Familiar, which is a residence authorization, as we said before. Members of your family who live abroad, they must apply for a community family reunification visa first, or visado de reagrupación familiar comunitaria, or enter Spain while meeting all entry conditions. You should bear in mind two factors in this situation. Your family member must apply for a community family reunification visa at the Spanish consulate in their country of origin or in the country where they are legally residing if they have a passport that requires a short-term visa to enter Spain. If your family member is a citizen of a country whose entry into Spain does not require a short-stay visa, for example USA or UK, they may enter with the papers demonstrating that they are a family member of a Spanish family. In this regard, there has been no change in the process of reuniting relatives of Spaniards with their families, which was in effect prior to the implementation of the 2022 immigration laws reform. Here, you must also consider the fact that there isn't currently an Arraigo Familiar or family reunification visa specifically for relatives of Spaniards. Therefore, it will be necessary to get the community family reunification visa in order to enter Spain. The application for Arraigo Familiar once in Spain. Once all the necessary documentation has been gathered, the application for Arraigo Familiar must be submitted to the immigration office where you have your registered address in Spain. The process may take several months, so it is recommended to submit the application as soon as possible. Once the application is received, the immigration office will carry out an evaluation of the applicant's ties and relations with Spain. If the links are deemed to be sufficient, a residence permit will be issued. If the links are found to be insufficient, the request will be denied. This is pretty obvious. Currently, we have the following options for applying for this permit. You can do it in person, and to do this, you must take an appointment in advance at the office closest to you and attend in person. Or you can do it online using your digital certificate and the Mercurio platform. Again, the links in the video description below. Once you have filed it, they will issue a receipt for your Arraigo Familiar application, just like they do with other applications. You may check the status of your application online to keep a close eye on it. The Immigration Office has 3 months by law to process and respond to your application after receiving proof of it. If after this time you have not heard anything about that request, it is possible to conclude that it has been approved due to administrative silence. Tips for applying for Arraigo Familiar: make sure to meet all the requirements and present all necessary documentation. Don't forget anything. Provide detailed and accurate information on the applicant's links and relations with Spain. And of course, we recommend to hire a professional immigration expert just to make sure you are going to get the permit at the first try. Conclusion: Arraigo Familiar is a way of demonstrating strong ties to Spain and can be an important requirement for obtaining a residence permit. However, it is important to meet all the requirements and submit all the required documentation to have a higher chance of success in the application. In addition, it is advisable to submit the application well in advance of the planned travel date. That's when we are talking about the reunification visa, because of course you have to apply for Arraigo Familiar once you are in Spain. In summary, if you are looking to join your family in Spain and need a residence permit, Arraigo Familiar may be an option for you.
If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button so you don't miss any of the new content that we upload to the video. And if you need expert advice, just go on Spainguru.es. You will find immigration lawyers. You will find also tax experts if you need to file taxes in Spain and also in the USA. You will find also relocation services in Spain, apostille services from the US, sworn translators, and health insurances when you apply for non-lucrative visa, when you apply for golden visa, student visa, you will need health insurances as well. And we also offer certificate of good health for the UK residents. And also if you need to go back to the States and you need a health insurance, we also offer those health insurances too. And of course, if you want to be part of a community, please join our Facebook group, Spain Immigration and Residency Questions, Spainguru.es. With more than 16,000 members, where you can ask any single question related to Spanish immigration issues, and you can do it also anonymously. You can also join our non-lucrative visa group with more than 800 members, our Spanish digital nomad visa group. Very important, last but not least, please subscribe to our newsletter. You can opt out anytime. We send this newsletter every single Monday morning, and we feature top discussions on our community and any news related to Spanish immigration. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you a great day. This is Bruno from Spainguru.es. Goodbye.